Okay, I'm going to model today's do now with you. So today you're looking at fractions for your do now, and I need to know how many. So I need to know how many is 1/4 of 8 and how many is 3/4 of 8. So I can see here that my whole has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I know that when I do 1/4, I am sharing equally into 4 equal parts. So I need to share my 8 into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now I've shared them. What is 1/4? 1/4 equals 2. If I want 3/4, how many parts of the whole do I need? I need 3. 1, 2, 3. 3/4 of 8 equals 6. It's now time for you to have a go at your do now. You don't need to draw out today's calculation, but you can do if you like, and you need to have a think now about how many. You're looking for 1/3 of 12 and 2/3 of 12. How many equal groups will you need, and how will you share them? Pause the video now before I go through the answer to the do now. Welcome back. So, how many? Well, you knew that you already had 12. You know that if you're dividing into thirds, you're dividing into 3 equal parts. Now the first question is 1/3, so I need to share them equally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 4 in each group and they are shared equally. 1/3, that means I need 1 of the parts, which equals 4. Now if I need 2 of the parts, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2/3 equals 8. I'm sure you got that right, but if not, have another go. See if you can share it equally and find 1/3 and 2/3.
Make 10. Make 10. Number bonds 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, 5 and 5. Partition, which means separating into 10s and 1s. And we're going to be using a number line to subtract. Again, from yesterday, we're going to be looking at the minuend, the subtrahend, and the difference. So again, our minuend is our first number that we're going to be subtracting from. Our subtrahend is the number that we're going to be taking away from the minuend, and then we have our difference. Today, you're going to be using 2-digit numbers. So a 2-digit number is a number that has 10s and 1s, 10s and 1s. And both numbers in our calculation today will have 10s and 1s. So we're going to be working through a few calculations together before I then model some using pen and paper to set you off on your way for your learning. So my first calculation is 24 take away 19. So my minuend is 24 and my subtrahend is 19. The first step is to partition my subtrahend into 10s and 1s. I have got 1 10 and 9 1s. Done. My next step, subtract the available 1s in the minuend to make 10. How many 1s have I got available in my minuend to make it to the next 10? I've got 4. So let's subtract 4. Finding 24. Subtracting 4 to get to my next 10. Next step. I now need to subtract the 10s from the subtrahend. So I've got 10 and I need to subtract 110, which is 10. So a jump of 20 down to 10. Last step. My last step is to subtract the remaining subtrahend ones. So I've got 9 originally, I've subtracted 4 of them. 4 add something equals 9. 4 add 5 equals 9. I need to subtract 5 more. So from 10, subtracting 5 more takes me to 5. So my answer is 5 equals 5. And that is all 4 steps complete. Let's do it again. Okay, this time my calculation is 22 subtract 13. And my minuend is 22, and I'm subtracting my subtrahend, which is 13. I have got to partition the subtrahend into tens and ones, and to do that, I look at my number, I say, oh, well, look, I've got 1 10 and 3 ones. 1 10 and 3 ones. Done. Next, I need to subtract the available ones in the minuend to make 10. So how many ones do I have available already? I have 2. So out of the 3, I'm going to subtract 2. On my number line, I find 22 and I take away 2. Going backwards because we're subtracting, so our number will be getting smaller. So I've done that now. Now I need to subtract the tens. How many tens do I need to subtract? I need to subtract 110. Starting on 20, subtracting 110 takes me down to 10. Great. Last step. My last step, I have to subtract the remaining subtrahend ones. I've subtracted 2 of the 3 so far, so I need to subtract 1 more. 10 minus or take away 1 is 9. So my answer equals 9. Done. Let's do it again. This time my calculation is 24 subtract 15. What was my first step? You're right, it was put to partition into tens and ones. How many tens do I have in 15? I have 1 10, which is 10. So I've done that. What's my next step? The next step, I need to subtract the available ones. So I've got 4 available ones in my minuend, so I'm going to take them away. I'm going to subtract 4 of the 5 ones. Okay, what was my next step? Who can remember what my next step was? Yes, you were absolutely right. I have to subtract the tens. How many tens? 1 10. 20 subtract 1 10 equals 10. Last step. Oh, it's just the end of the ones left to take away. I've taken away 4 of the 5, which means I still need to subtract 1 more. And 10 take away 1 more equals 9. Equals 9. Last question before I model on pen and paper for you. What was my first step? You're right, I have to partition, and I'm partitioning the subtrahend into tens and ones. Next, I have to subtract the available ones to make 10. How many do I have available to make me down to the next tens number? I have 5. So I subtract my 5 from my 25. 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm now on my next tens number of 20. So I can move on to the next step. And the next step is to subtract the tens. How many tens do I need to subtract? 1 10, which is 10. 20 take away 10 is 10. Last step, last question. Subtract the remaining subtrahend ones from the new. So I had 8, I've taken away 5, How many do I have left to subtract? I've still got 6, 7, 8. I've still got 3 to subtract. 10 take away 3 equals 7. My answer is 7.
Okay, let's model it using paper and pen. So I've got 3 calculations here that we're going to be working through today. Now these are obviously slightly different to the ones you're going to be doing. If not, they would be the answers. So the first thing we're going to be doing is looking at the calculation. Now I've got my minuend as 24 and my subtrahend as 17. Now I know that I need to partition my subtrahend into tens and into ones. So I've got 1 10 and 7 ones. I find 24 on my number line. I know I'm counting backwards because I'm subtracting, and I'm going to take away as many of the minuend ones that will take me to the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 takes me to the next 10. Okay, done. Next step, I subtract the tens from the subtrahend. So 110 from 20 is 10. Done. Done, done, done. Last step, subtract the remaining subtrahend ones. So I've taken 4 of the 7, that means I've still got 3 left. 1, 2, 3. And the answer is 7. Let's look at the next one. My calculation this time is 22, take away 15. My minuend is 22 and my subtrahend is 15. I need to partition my subtrahend into tens and ones. I've got 1 10 and 5 ones. Done. Next step, subtract the available ones in the minuend to make 10. There are 2 ones in the minuend, so I'm going to subtract 2 of the 5 ones. Finding 22 and subtracting 2 to make my next 10. I've made my next 10. Now I need to subtract the tens. So 20 take away 10 is 10. Done. Last step. I've taken 2 of the 5 away in my subtrahend, which means I still need to take away 3. 1, 2, 3. And my answer is 7. Last one. This time, my calculation is 21, subtract or take away or minus 14. So, I partition my subtrahend. I've got 1 10, which is 10, and 4 ones. Now that I've done that, I need to know how many ones have I got in my minuend available. I've got 1. 1 will take me down to the next 10. I carefully find 21 on my number line and I subtract 1 to get to the next 10. Now I subtract my 10, which means I now need to subtract the remaining amount of ones in my subtrahend. I've removed 1 of the 4. I still have 3 to make the 4. So 1, 2, 3. And again, the answer is 7. Okay, that is our maths sheet modelled and practiced. I'm now looking forward to watching you have a go at your sheet. Do upload your work to Seesaw. We absolutely love seeing it.